Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Sir Naveed Iqbal and you are watching my YouTube channel The Grace Coaching Center. Alright student, today in this video we will discuss the first year botany target paper 2023. So let's start with the video. Most important long, the most important long जो हैं वो आपके पास है life cycle of the moss, fern, ulva, glycolysis, Kreb cycle and HIV cycle. Describing question number 2, the structure and properties of the plasma membrane with diagram. Next है आपके पास explain the Munch hypothesis and how does the pressure flow mechanism run the translocation of the food. Describing in detail the structure and functions of mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, cell wall, cytoskeleton and Golgi complex. Fifth questions describing in detail all the events which take place in light dependent as well as independent reaction. Question number 6, explain autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition in bacteria. 7th, explain the lytic or lysogenic life cycle of bacteriophage with a label diagram. 8th, how does the pressure flow theory explain the movement of sugar through the plant. Next, question number 9, describing the cohesion theory, tension theory of water movement through xylem and how do these two interact to move the water through a plant, what supply the cohesion and what is the source of the tension. Next है question number 10, list the adaptation in plant based on osmotic adjustment. फिर आपके पास शॉर्ट हैं और रीजंस तो आते ही नहीं हैं, इसके अंदर 1 मार्क्स क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. तो शॉर्ट आपके पास है कि वाई अ लाइसोसोम्स इज कॉल्ड अ सुसाइडल सेक्स, वाई अ प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन इज डिफरेंशिएट permeable in nature, why a plant cell wall is rigid, and why a chloroplast is called the energy converting cell organelles, how the prokaryotic ribosomes is different from a eukaryotic ribosomes, why a mitochondria is called the powerhouse of cell, state the silent features of cell theory, functions of cytoplasm, why a photosynthesis is called a redox process, why ATP is called a common energy currency of cell systems, why a Clavin cycle is also called a C3 cycle, why CAM plant close stomata in a daytime, why a thylakoid and a heterospore, why an oxidation of pyruvative providing the more energy than a lactic fermentation, discuss the living and non-living status of virus. Why do we mean by a positive and negative sense of virus? How does the bacteriophage virus infect the bacteria? How a virus survive without a host? What are the symptoms of AIDS acquired immune deficiency syndrome? Differentiate between prion and viroids. What does the bacteriophage means? Explain the structure of bacteria in detailed with a label diagram. Explain the autotrophic mode of nutrition in plant. What do you mean by an bacterial growth? Describing its phase. Why are a plasmid? What are a plasmid? What is the role played by a plasmid? How a dry and moist heat are affected in a killing bacteria. Why we says that a ulva has an isomorphic alternation of generation. What is a prothallus? Which vascular plant first evolved through roots and leaves? Name the most primitive growth of vascular plant. Are all the seed plant also known as a flowering plant? Define a double fertilization. How seed are evolved, how plant coped with invade the land from the sea, how life cycle of plant show alternation of generation. uh, Explain the ancestor of biophytes, why minerals nutrition are necessary for plant, why a desert plant reducing their leaf size, how annual ring are formed. differentiate between a xerophytes and a mesophytes, difference between a primary growth and secondary growth in plant, why a cold treatment is necessary for the germination of seed in some plant, differentiate between a primary growth and secondary growth in plant, how a trigger pressure how the trigger provide support to a herbaceous plant, why what do you mean by a water potential, why a photorespiration is considered as a wasteful process, why insectivorous plant use insects as a food, draw a need and label diagram of a bacteriophage virus and a fern a prothallus. तो स्टूडेंट ओवरऑल ये आपके पास शॉर्ट और लॉन्ग थे, जो मुझे लगता है कि ये काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। आपका टारगेट होना चाहिए कि आप ये सारे करके जाएं अगर आप चाहते हैं कि आपके फुल मार्क्स आएँ। और बहुत जल्दी मेरे चैनल के ऊपर MCQs भी अपलोड कर दूंगा मैं, ठीक है ना। जोलॉजी के मैंने इससे पहले अपलोड कर चुका ही हूँ। टारगेट पेपर अगर आपने वो नहीं देखा तो लाजमी आप देख लीजिएगा। और इसके साथ साथ जोलॉजी के भी मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट MCQs और बॉटनी के भी मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट MCQs ऑलमोस्ट 1 से 2 दिन के अंदर मेरे चैनल पे अपलोड हो जाएंगे। अगर आप चैनल पे न्यू हैं तो आप फर्स्ट टाइम अगर आए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, अगर वीडियो पसंद आई तो लाइक कर दीजिए और दोस्तों को भी शेयर कीजिए। मिलते हैं किसी दूसरी वीडियो के अंदर, जब तक अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज़।